Now, I know we've all seen the memes, and every once in a while you have one of those times where you learn something, and it's like I was today years old when I found this out. And I actually had one of those moments just a couple months ago, and I want to go ahead and talk to you guys about that today. Hey guys, what's up? Bryan here. Thanks for tuning in today. I actually want to talk a little bit today about the contest that I had a couple weeks ago. On my last video, I actually completely spaced out, completely forgot to talk about who won it or anything like that. Been in contact with the guy. It was actually a gentleman out of Pennsylvania named Ernie Mancuso. And he sent me pictures of his bike, and luckily he does not have the AIS block-offs, it doesn't look like. And he has not relocated the FPR, so hopefully these kits will actually get him started on getting that left side cleaned up. Big thank you to Ernie for subscribing and entering into that contest, and a big thank you to all you guys as well. I've got more planned in the future, so be sure to stick around for those. Now when it comes to screws, not all of them are created equal. There are many different kinds, and they all have a lot of different characteristics. Whether you're talking about a slotted head, a Phillips head, a Frierson, Posi drive, Allen, Star, Torque, whatever, there are many different kinds, and each of them have their pros and cons. So like I said, every once in a while you have one of those days where you learn something, and when you learn it, it dawns on you, and you're like, I should have known this all along. How did I not know this? And I had one of those moments just a few months ago. It was actually when I had brought out my video on how to remove the bars. And in that video, I had actually commented about how you need to take the mirrors off first and everything so that you could get good angle at that screw so that when you pulled it out, it didn't strip it out. Now, I actually had a comment on that video, and I want to thank you, Kent Stater, for that, by the way. And he let me know that the screws on our bikes are not actually Phillips head screw. That's automatically what we think it is. And, the Phillips head screwdriver actually was almost called the Thompson. A lot of people don't really know that. And I learned that whenever I was, kind of looking around and doing a little bit of research into stuff. The Phillips head screw was actually patented by a gentleman named John Thompson. And when they actually issued the patent, they issued it into a man named Henry Phillips' name. Now, I don't know what happened, whether John Thompson sold the patent to Henry Phillips or what it was, but long story short, Phillips ended up getting the name and getting the patent and everything like that, so they became Phillips head screws rather than Thompson screws. Phillips ended up starting a company in 1933, and I don't know the exact details of it, but in 1947 he ended up being sued by the U.S. government for bad business practices. I don't know if they were a bad company or not, but they were actually charged with patent pulling, cartel practices, price fixing, and even trying to suppress competing technologies. Now, Phillips screws were actually invented to apply more torque, but it was designed so that it would actually cam out when too much torque was applied. Now, there are many different reasons for this, whether it be to prevent stripping of the screw or stripping of the threads, because they were actually used a lot on aluminum aircraft. And today, the Phillips head screw is still one of the most widely used screws in the world. Now, what we have on our Warrior actually look like Phillips head screws, but what I learned just a few months ago is that's not actually the case. They're what is called a Japanese industrial standard screw. And a lot of times you can tell these screws apart from other Phillips head screws because there will be a divot on it. And that's not always the case, but a lot of times there will be that divot, so you can actually tell the difference between the two. Now, you can actually see the difference between a Japanese industrial standard screwdriver and a regular Phillips head screwdriver when you hold them up side by side. Now, I'm going to show you a real quick picture on the difference between the contact points, because what you could actually do is you can use a Japanese industrial standard screwdriver on a regular Phillips head. When you're trying to use a Phillips screwdriver on a Japanese industrial standard screw, it doesn't get as good a contact point, as you can see from the picture. Now, the way that they're cut actually allows you to apply more torque to the Japanese industrial standard screw, so they get a lot tighter. And when you go in there with a Phillips head screwdriver, you're not going to be able to get it out because that Phillips head screwdriver is not going to sink into the recess all the way to allow you to get as much torque as possible to twist it out. All you're going to end up doing is actually stripping out the head of the screw. Now, if you take that Phillips head screwdriver and you grind it down a little bit on the edge, you could actually get in there and get just about the same contact. Guys, thanks for tuning in today. Hopefully this video kind of showed you the difference between the Japanese industrial standard and the Phillips head screw, and it'll keep you hopefully in the future from stripping them out. If this was something that was new to you as well, like it was to me, I'm going to leave a poll and let me know, because like I said, I thought this was actually really useful information for everybody. Guys, if this video did help you out, be sure to like and share it. And if you're not subscribed yet, scroll down, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell so that you're notified to all my new videos as soon as they come out. I've actually been in contact with Alex. He has all the parts and he's planning on doing his left side cleanup hopefully this week, hopefully contacting me next week, and we will get a video made up of his build so that you guys can see everything that I love so much about it. Also looking for more winter mods, guys. I've had a few suggestions so far, but if there's one that you all want to see and you're interested in learning how to do, be sure to comment down below and let me know what it is. Other than that, guys, we'll see you next time.